first of all, let me introduce myself and who am I. So I'm the co-founder and CEO of SEO, and I will talk a little bit more about SEO in a while. But my job at SEO is to make other people's work easier. Actually, this is what I do nowadays. Although I've been doing a lot of things in the past at SEO and other companies that we created and invested in whatsoever. But first of all, I would like to know in the audience who of you are students. Can you raise your hands, please? Students.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Who of you are founders of startups or entrepreneurs? Okay. Who of you have come just for the lunch? Okay. I hope that you're here to learn a little bit more about how to drive organic traffic to your websites, for your products, for your companies, for your startups, creating great content, as Francisco has told you in the previous presentation. Okay, this is my purpose of being here today. How to drive organic traffic to your websites through the content that you produce. Okay, so of course I'm not going to. It's impossible to teach you this in a 1 hour presentation. Okay, but my intention is to show you the way that you have to go, where you can, what you need to do to start producing great content and to drive organic traffic to your website. Okay, and please feel free to interrupt me and ask whatever you want. Okay, during the presentation. Okay, we can have the questions at the end of the presentation, but if you want to ask something, you can do it during my presentation. Okay? Okay. Did you have coffee in the coffee break or not? It seems like you're a little bit sleepy, I don't know. Okay. Okay, thank you. About SEO. What is SEO? Have you ever heard about SEO or not? You didn't? Okay, you did. Okay. Thank you. So, what is SEO? What do we do at SEO? And you can translate SEO, okay?
7 degrees.
No, you can't. It's
Okay.
SEO.
Okay.
Okay?
Sorry.
Okay. Sorry. It was created in 2005. So we kind of dinosaurs of the internet because 15 years on this industry is too long. But we've been working since, actually we've been working since 2003 on a project that we created at the time. And this project lead to create SEO in 2005. Okay? This project is olhares.com. I don't know if you heard about it. This is a project that we sold to the biggest media company or group in Portugal. We sold this project in 2008, I think. Our mission at SEO is to improve people's lives through the content that we create and distribute for free. Okay, this is what we do. Okay, so everyone that works at SEO, everyone that works with us, they need to think of this. Okay, actually, what we want is to improve people's life, and we do it through the content that we produce, and we produce this content and we give it for free. Okay, and even we feel happy when people use our content and our content really helps them, although they don't visit our websites. Okay, they can go on Google and search something, and Google gives the answer that is on our website, and people knows the answer they are looking for just by searching on Google. And they don't even have to click on the links to go to our websites, and we feel happy when this happens. We don't get any money from it, but we are fulfilling our mission which is to improve people's lives. Okay, So our business model, because probably will think, okay, you produce content for free, how do you earn money? How do you pay the bills? Okay, what we do is we have several websites. We produce the content, people go to the websites, they consume our content, and we have advertising on the websites. And this is our business model, okay? What we try to do is to not being very intrusive on the kind of advertising that we have on the website. So in order to be able to find the content that they are looking for and having the answer very easily on our websites. Okay. Any questions? Feel free to ask. Okay. So at the moment we have around 100 websites. I think probably you haven't heard about SEO, but I'm pretty sure that most of you have already been on our websites, and we have several verticals. We produce content of health, education. We have the biggest online dictionary in Brazil. We have some entertainment, personal finances, and some other more verticals. Okay. At the moment, our websites have in total around 180 million visits per month. This is very much, 100 million visits per month on our websites. We're talking about 100 websites. Our main markets are Brazil, Portugal, Mexico, and Argentina. So we produce content mainly in Portuguese and Spanish. We are now looking into trying to create content in another language like English, or I don't know, probably Chinese, or I don't know, Chinese or Mandarin. But mainly Portuguese and Spanish. Our main market is obviously Brazil. It's also the biggest market. So I think we have around 80% of our traffic comes from Brazil. Okay. And we are one of the top 20 publishers in Brazil and one of the top 10 publishers in Portugal. This comes from the ComScore ranking, which is an obvious metering company. Okay. I think I'm going to break this because I'm pushing too hard. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Well, at SEO, we have also created some other companies, co-founded, invested. These are some of the brands that we, of these other companies that we are investing and or we help to co-found. Okay? Some of these companies are going to be present here at this week. So what we try to do with these companies as a co-founder or investor is to also fulfill our mission. So if our mission at SEO is to help to improve people's lives, we also want to help these startups, these companies, to improve their lives, to teach them what we have as a know-how at SEO, what we have learned in the past about producing content and also about creating a valuable business. Something I would like to add is that at SEO we have never got any kind of investment and funding from any kind of investor or VC or whatever. Of course, we didn't need to in the beginning, and also in the beginning, 2003, 2005, this kind of industry that we are seeing here in Portugal, and I'm very happy that this is happening here in Portugal nowadays. But we didn't have this kind of funding and investment, and the industry was not so how to say, was not starting like this, like we are seeing today, this startup ecosystem. So we didn't get any kind of funding in the beginning, but we are now doing this as with the startups that we are helping, funding and investing and co-founding and so on. So this is it. This is Seth Rausch. If you have any kind of questions about our company, you can talk with me during lunch break, or you can go to our website and look up to our portfolio. You can see all the websites that we produce content, the websites that we have. Okay, so this is the question that probably you have: is it really that true that SEO is dead? Who thinks yes, or who thinks SEO is dead? Can you raise your hand, please? Who thinks that SEO is dead? No one thinks this. You don't. Well, so my presentation, I think it's going to be a bit controversial, because we really think, we at Setrals, we really think that SEO is dead. Why do we say this? Can you see this email? Can you read what's on it? Okay. I get this, I don't know, probably once or twice a week. What does it say? Hello, hi, we can help your website to get on first page of Google and increase the number of leads and sales you are getting from your website. Please email us back for full proposal. Linda. Thank you, Linda. So, why do we say that SEO is dead? We get this a lot, okay? And what we think about is that SEO is that most people think that SEO is a set of tricks and magic tricks and hocus pocus and whatsoever that you have to do, and if you do it, you will get on first page of Google. This is probably the idea that everyone or most people have. And with this kind of emails that we get, this reinforce this idea. Okay, there's a magic trick that you can do. There's something that you can do. If you don't do this, you will not get on first page of Google. Okay, so we don't agree with this. We don't think this is true. And what we really believe is that you don't need to do SEO. You don't need to do search engine optimization, because, and Francisco was the previous speaker, he was talking about you need to do great content, okay? And the great content that you do is not for the search engine. It's for people. So you don't need to optimize for the search engine. You need to create great content to the people that you're trying to reach, okay? So there's no search engine optimization. Okay, so I'm going to try to find a metaphor for this. I don't know if this is a good example or not, but if I was here to teach you how to drive a car, I wouldn't say that you need to have gas on your car. I wouldn't, right? Because it's a basic. For your car to run, you need gasoline, right? Mm-hmm. Okay? So when we are talking about SEO, we are talking about the basic, okay? And when we are talking about creating a website and having a good website, this is the basic, okay? What makes your website good, and what makes it to get great traffic and organic traffic is the content that you have on your website. Okay? Mm-hmm. I think that probably you will disagree on some things that I will say, but our concept of SEO is that this is the basic. You need to do the basic, and the rest is content. You need to produce great content. Okay? And if you do this, you will have organic traffic on our website. And I think that our company, Setrals, is a living proof of this, because we have 180 million visits per month on our websites. And I think that we don't do paid search. We don't pay to acquire traffic. All of our traffic is organic. Okay, so I think we are the living proof that this is possible. Okay, and the strategy of producing content to drive sales, which is not the purpose of SEO, but the strategy of content marketing, we are using this on other companies that you saw, and this really works. Okay, we are producing content in order to drive sales or leads for those companies that you saw. Okay, so this is possible, and this is why we say that SEO is there. In I don't know, 2004, 2002, there was this concept of SEO as, okay, you need to know all of the tricks, you need to know how the search engine works, you need to do link building and a lot of crazy stuff in order to get to the first page of Google and the other search engines. But but the search engines had evolved. They have been improvements, a lot of improvements on the search engines, and nowadays what they really want is great content, and they really value this great content. And I don't know if you have ever heard of this, but for example, Google has manual validation of your websites, of your content. I don't know if you ever heard of this. It's not just a set of machines and computers and servers and artificial intelligence and whatsoever that indexes the content of the entire internet for you to search on Google. This is not it, just it. Okay, they have this, of course, but they also have people, real people, looking for great content and validate. Okay, they're going to read the content and see, okay, this is good, the website is good. The website, for example, something that they do nowadays, that they go to the websites and see if the websites have advertising. And if the advertising is intrusive, they will qualify this website as poor quality. Okay? So they have real people, real humans checking the websites, checking the content. Okay? So what we need to do is to create great content in order for people to read it and to consume our content. And if they are happy with our content, they will come back. And also Google will put us on the first page of Google. Okay? So if you are producing great content for real people, Google will like your content and will put you on the first page of Google. This is why we say that SEO is dead. Okay? So who now agrees that SEO is dead?
Half dead.
Half dead? Okay. Dying, right? Okay, I have one hand up, okay? So, I'm not here to convince you, of course. I'm just here to show our experience, our know-how, and our thoughts about what is SEO, okay? Any question? Francisco, go ahead.
When you say that, for example, intrusive advertising is something that would lower your ranking on Google, having intrusive advertising is obviously poor SEO practice then. Which means that I understand what you're saying. SEO is the basic. It's not something that you should be worried about 100%, but it's something that you should know the basics of to make sure that you don't do that kind of mistake.
I have the answer.
Maybe?
In the next slide.
Nice.
I think it's next slide. Okay? If you don't get your answer can you we'll go back to you. Please.
As far as
Can you hear them?
as far as I can understand, what you are trying to say is that the metric that matters is not your SEO ranking, but the quality of the content you produce, because the outcome will be a good SEO ranking or a good position on search engines, because people will like your content, so they will search for it, they will watch it, they will read it, so and then the outcome is that. So it's the same way when you do everything right, your revenue will grow. So
that's it.
it's the outcome, it's not the purpose of the thing.
But of course we will have.
In that way, I believe that SEO is that.
We want to deconstruct this idea of SEO, because I think that, I don't know what you think or what's SEO, but the idea that we have is that, and because of this kind of situation, okay, what we really think is that people think that SEO is that kind of tricks and magic and black hat stuff that you need to do to put your website on the first page of Google. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think let me show you the next slide. Okay. So if we say that SEO is the basics, let's start with the basics. And the basics are the biggest search engine in the world is Google, of course. And Google says, what are the basics? So if you want to create a website and produce content, the first thing that you should do is this. Go to Google, to the Google Webmaster Tools, there's the link, and read it. Okay? You should read it all. And everyone that works at SETGrange, this is the basics where they start. Okay, guys? This is the first thing you need to read. And this goes for everyone. For the content producers, for the programmers, for the tech team, even for the cleaning lady. But this is where you should start. I'm not going to try to teach you everything today because it's impossible, but if I could just give you one tip, is this one. Go to Google Webmaster Guidelines, read it all, okay? And I will show you some things that they say on Google Webmaster Guidelines. Make pages primarily for users, not for search engines. 20 years ago, people would do websites taking on search engines. They would try to understand how search engines work and try to figure out, okay, how I'm going to gain this. Okay? So, your focus should be on people, not on search engines. And this, if the word is SEO, search engine optimization, that's why we say it's that, because you should optimize for people, not for search engines. In the end, it's people that's going to read your content, okay? Something else that they say, okay, this is what you should do, and this is what you shouldn't do. Some of the techniques, automatically generated content. Don't do this. You need to have real people writing real content. Participating on link schemes. This is something that was a technique 15, 20 years ago. People would create several websites and link them every site linking to another one to create this strategy of link building. Don't do this, okay? You will probably get your site off of Google. And don't create pages with little or no original content. You should have real content, you should have some content, and it should be original. Don't copy anything. Don't even translate it from English to Portuguese, and that's it. Don't do this. Okay? You're fooling people that want to read your content, and the search engines can identify this kind of schemes, and they will kick you off out of Google. And this really happens. I've seen it. Okay? This really happens. Your site can be banned from Google. Okay. And there are several more guidelines, so I really recommend you to go there and read it all. Okay? Any question? No? Okay. So, more basics. So, you should have a valid HTML website. Okay? Why do you should have this? Because Google and browsers or the users should understand your website. HTML is kind of a language. If you don't write the language properly, no one will understand it. So you need to do it in order for the browsers of your computer, your user's computer, can understand your website, and also to give Google and other search engines the information that is on your website so they can read it. Okay? Something else. Submit your content to Google. This is something also that you should do in the beginning. So you can create a sitemap, and Google Webmaster Guidelines has all the instructions to do it. And you go to Google Search Console and you submit your sitemap to Google. You don't have to, but it's recommended. Okay? When you do this, what you're saying to Google, okay, Google, here's my entire website, all of the pages of my website, so index it, read it, and rank my site. Okay? So another thing those were the basics, and another thing that's quite important is performance. Okay? When we are talking about performance, we are talking about time, loading time of your website on a browser or on a mobile phone. Okay? It should be fast, real fast. Who of you like to wait when you're trying to find some kind of content or try to read some page or web page or something like that? You don't like to wait, right?
Right.
So imagine that you're in Africa. In Africa, yeah, with a mobile phone. You don't have Wi-Fi. You're using 3G or 2G, I don't know what they have there. And you want to read some kind of content on the website. You don't have this kind of experience because you're in Portugal. You all have Wi-Fi everywhere. You have 4G everywhere. So the kind of experience that you have, it's real good. Okay, all of the websites will load very fast. But this really matters. Why does this really matter? You need to give a good experience for the user, and the outcome is that the search engine will rank you as a good quality site because you're giving a good experience to the user. And something that Google has been saying in the last, I think, 5 years is that you should go mobile. They've been talking this a lot because what was happening was that Google was seeing that the users were going mobile, okay, and the websites were not keeping along with this transformation, okay. So they were speaking in all of the events of Google that we go. They would say, guys, you need to go to mobile. You need to go to mobile. And they were talking to the publishers, okay? And they also were talking to the advertisers saying, guys, your target is on the mobile. You should go to mobile, okay? So performance really matters. If you are on a desktop, your site should load fast. But also, and it's more important also, if you are in mobile. And Amazon has calculated that a page load slowdown of just 1 second could cost them $1.5 billion in sales each year. Okay? 1.6 billion. 1 second of load on a web page. So this is quite important. If your page takes too much time to load, the user will go to another website. Okay? So if you do something that the user would like, the search engine will also like this. Right? And of course, mobile. Our main market is Brazil. Some of our websites have around 85% of the traffic of the visits are mobile, and we are talking of Brazil. There are big cities like São Paulo that have good internet connections, but we have small cities in Amazonia that don't have good connection, and our website should load fast, even for those. Okay, so it's very important. The performance is very important on mobile. For this, you have several tools that you can use. I will recommend some, like Google PageSpeed, GT Metrics, and House. These tools will give you some insights of how your website is performing, what you should improve on your website, what can you change. So these tools are very, very good. Okay, I don't know if you ever heard about AMP pages. No? Okay. This is a kind of solution that Google has created for mobile users. I don't know if you ever tried to go on Google on your mobile and search for something on Google, and you will get some of the search results that you get will have some thunder, a drawing of a thunder or something like that. Have you ever seen this? Okay, this means that this web page is an AMP page that will load very fast. What's an AMP page? Okay, and you should consider to have an AMP version of your website, of your content, for this kind of users that go on mobile and search for something. And Google will show them the AMP version of your website. It's a light version of your website. It's served by Google, so the contents, it's not actually on your site. It's on Google's site because they will serve it. They will read it and they store it and they will serve it, and it will load very, very fast. Okay, so this is also a good practice that you can use because, as I told you, mobile is getting very, very important. Something else, and of course, if you are talking about e-commerce, it really, really, really matters. We have some companies that we have co-founded or invested in that are e-commerce websites, that have e-commerce websites, and we really see when we optimize the performance of the website, we see the conversion rate increasing. This really, really matters. Okay. So some basic tools that that you can use. This is Google Search Console. Who has ever worked with Google Search Console? It was called Google Webmaster Tools in the past. It has changed. They have this new tool. It's called Google Search Console. Basically, what you can do it with it is you can know what Google knows about your website. Okay. So what can you see on Google Search Console? You can see how many people are searching and your website is listed. Okay. For example, if I go onto Google and I search books. Okay. Books. You search for books. Okay. And probably your website will rank on the position number 7 or something like that. Okay. So Google Search Console will tell you how many people search for books and your website was ranking, and in which position you were ranking. Okay, this will tell. This will tell you what Google knows about your website and what you need to do to improve your content. Okay, if you're on page 2 of Google, you should try to understand why isn't your content on page 1. There's something you need to do probably. Probably you need to improve the content, probably not giving the answer that people are looking for when they search for books. Okay, so this is what Google knows about your website, what people are searching for, what people are clicking on when they search for. Okay, for example, we can have someone searching for books, and 50% of people that search for books click on your website. How can you improve this to go to 70%? Okay, this is what Google Search Console will tell you.
Yeah, I have a small question.
Yeah.
Isn't that SEO?
No.
We are looking for what Google is saying us,
No.
search engine,
No,
to
this is
optimize our content in order to improve.
We are optimizing our content.
Yeah, based
for
on
people.
results of Google, right?
Based on the results of what search engine is telling you. But the search engine is telling you how people use Google.
Yeah, and then we improve our content.
Yeah. For people.
Yeah, for people. And that way.
But SEO is search engine optimization, and as I said
Yeah,
in
okay.
the beginning,
Yeah.
we should improve.
We are talking about the same thing using different words, right?
But this matters. This really matters, because
yeah, I agree.
our focus should be on people, not on the search engine, because we are producing content for people, and these tools are the tools show us the results of what people are doing. Okay. This can sound some little bit crazy. Okay, why you are saying that the SEO is that if you are doing SEO, but this really matters. This really matters, and with all the people that we work at SETROS, we really need to teach them and reinforce this idea. You're doing content for people. You're not doing content to rank on page number 1 or on position number 1 of Google. That's not why you're doing it. Okay? That's we are happy when we rank on number 5 or number 6 if we are really helping people with the content that we have. Okay? Probably not on number 1 because there's something else that's better than us, or so. What we try to pass is the idea that there is someone in the other end of the line that will read your content, and you're going to help that people. For example, we have health content on our websites. We have doctors and nurses writing content, and we have people in Brazil, in small villages in Amazonia, that they don't have access to doctors as easy as we have, and they go to our website looking for information about health, about diseases that they have. But in the end, we are reaching people with the content that we produce, and this can make a big difference in their lives. And we have stories about this on etc. because sometimes people give us feedback of our content, and we truly believe that we can make a difference in their lives. Okay? And everyone that's working at Set House and is producing content, they really need to understand this. Okay? So the other tool is Google Analytics. So if Google Search Console tells you what Google knows about your website, the Google Analytics will tell you what really happens on your website. Okay? So what's Google Analytics? Google Analytics is an analytics tool that where you can see how much traffic your website has, what kind of content is having more visits, how long people stay on your content on your website, and this will really help you how to improve your content. For example, if you have some kind of content that that people go into and they spend 2 seconds reading the content, there's something wrong. If you have a big page of content, a big text, and people will only spend 2 seconds reading it, there's something wrong. Probably you're giving them the wrong answer for that question. So what we need to do is look into this and to see, okay, how can I improve this? Okay? So, go ahead.
I just wonder what's a good
if you have a good if you have good content. Oh, is it on? Okay. So if you have what's a good number, second-wise or minute-wise, for people to stay on your website? What should you aim for at least?
You're talking about seconds.
Okay.
Sorry.
No. If like what we have, our customers say it's pretty long. I've heard on our website. So considered to be staying long. What would be long and what should you aim for?
Depends. We don't have a metric because it depends on the purpose of the content. For example, let's imagine that your yellow pages. Okay. Let's imagine your website is yellow pages, right? What's the purpose of the content?
Yeah.
What's the purpose?
Yeah,
It's
sure, yeah.
to give people the number or the address of the company, right? I just need 2 seconds to do that. I go there, I will copy the phone number, and I will call the company, okay? So for this kind of content, 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, I think it's quite good, okay? It's probably the metric. If you have Wikipedia, for example, it's long text, okay? So people should spend much more time reading it. It can be 1 minute, 2 minutes. So there's actually no metric that I can give you because it depends on the use of the content. If it is expected people to stay long on the website because they are reading the content and understanding it, it should be a little bit longer. If the purpose of the content is just to get there, get the information, and go back, it should be quicker. So depends on the website, depends on the content that you have. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
So any other question? No? Okay. So when you're producing content, and now Francisco has spoiled me a bit, your content, I will be a little bit more quick on this phase. So your content should do one of 4 things. It should inform, or it should educate, or it should entertain, or it should solve a problem. Okay? When you're writing content, when you're producing content, you need to know what's the purpose of what you're doing. Okay? Is it to inform, educate, entertain, or solve a problem? Okay. About content marketing, what is content marketing? And Francisco already spoke about this. Is to use content to drive sales or to drive leads or to make some business out of it. Okay. And he spoke about what he did at Uniplaces. Basically, wanted to reach their target audience in order for them to someday, if they want it or not, they could get more customers, more sales, more leads whatsoever. So, for instance, we are using this strategy on one of our companies where we have software as a service software, invoicing software. Okay, and we are producing content for our target audience. We are helping them. We are, and let's go back. What we do on that website, on that content, with that content, is to inform the store owners about taxes they have to pay when they have a store. We try to help them solving a problem if they have, I don't know, some tax is much related to taxes because no one knows what tax they have to pay and then what they have to do with the taxes when they open a store. So we try to inform, educate, solve a problem. Depends a lot on your product. We are talking about content marketing. I think that what Francisco said also is that sometimes the content that he produced at Uniplaces was only to entertain, right? It doesn't have to be to educate, it doesn't have to solve a problem every time. Sometimes it's just going to be entertained. So, okay, now that you know the basics, probably the first question that you have to do is, okay, what kind of content am I going to create, right? Some of you are founders of startups. You have a product to sell, but you don't know, okay, my product is software or something like that. So what kind of content am I going to create? This is the first question that you have to answer, right? Okay, so you need to know who is your target, as Francisco said. You need to know, and it shouldn't be his mother, okay? His mom. You should know what are their needs. What are the needs of your target? You should know how we can help our target with this content. Okay? How can we inform them? How can we educate them? How can we solve their problems? And of course, you're selling a product. How is it that content related to your product or your service? It doesn't always have to be related. Okay? It doesn't have to be always related, but at least in some point it should be related to your product or service. Okay? So, if you can answer all of these 4 questions, you're ready to start creating your content. But don't forget the basics. You're writing content for you, for people, not for search engines. And you should have the basics done. You should have a good website. It should perform very good. It should be fast to load. It should be all of those guidelines that are on Google Webmaster Tools. And hands-on. Okay, probably you've been waiting for this. Okay, then how do we do it? Stick to the basics. Don't forget the basics. I will reinforce this till the end. Don't forget the basics. Okay? Stick to the basics. Find good content to produce. Publish it, because you can think that okay, this is a great content. You will never know it unless you publish it. Okay? You should put it on a website. Measure it. So after you publish it, you need to look at the tools, the Webmaster tools, to Search Console or to Analytics, Google Analytics, and measure the results. See, okay, are we getting traffic with this content or not? What kind of traffic are we getting? Or what are people searching on Google to reach this kind of content? Is it fulfilling its purpose? Because when we create a content, we have some kind of intention. Okay, I'm going to write this content because this will help our audience to do this and this and this, or this will give this information. But then you need to look at the tools and see, okay, is it really happening as I thought? Okay, so you should measure it. When you measure it, you will refine it and you will improve it, okay? In order to get more traffic out of it, and in order to giving people the answer that they are looking for. And of course, test it. Okay, I'm going to refine it, I'm going to improve it, so let's test it. Let's test it, and let's publish it again. And now you have to do it. What you have to do is to measure again. And sometimes the test that we are creating goes well, and we get some kind of increase of traffic. Sometimes it doesn't work, so we need to go back. So this is what we have to do every time. Okay? And let's get back to the top and do it constantly. Okay? With every content that we produce, we need to check it sometime after and see, okay, is it working or not? Is it fulfilling its purpose or not? For example, at Search, we have our biggest website has 1 million visits per day. Okay, and the website was created, I think it was in 2007, and we are still improving content that we have produced back then. Okay, so we are constantly doing this. Okay. Why? Because people that search this content or this content 6 years ago, they're not doing it right now, and probably the purpose of the content would have to change. I don't know, for example, okay, stupid example. 10 years ago, if you were searching for Donald Trump, you probably were searching for the movies that he has participated in. I'm joking, of course. Nowadays, you're searching for some other kind of information about Donald Trump, right?
Right.
So the purpose of your content can change during time. Okay? Yes? Can you go back to the previous slide, please?
As I understood, a piece of content like you created years ago, you are editing that content, so you still have the link, you still have the same title, you still have everything the same, but you just change.
Probably not.
So you create new content.
No. Probably it's the same content with different title, with different URL, with different text, but it's the same content.
I didn't listen, sorry.
Okay. What I think you're trying to understand is that okay, if we change everything or if we just change small things, okay?
Yeah, we can actually like for example, health content, new discoveries, new scientific tests, whatever. But you write the same study 2 years ago. Now you have to refresh your posts.
Yeah.
How you do? You add it under the same title, under the same URL, under the same ranking position SEO, or you create a new.
If there's some kind of relation between the previous content and the new content, we try to work on the previous content, but it doesn't mean that we'll keep the URL. You can also change the URL, and it will be the same content with some tweaks. It's not the new content. Although the title can be different, although the URL can be different, it is the same content with some little changes.
Yeah, now I understood, but what do you think about if I wrote a blog post about bot marketing, for instance,
Yeah.
1 year ago?
Yes.
And every 15 days I go there and I want to add something.
Hmm.
That's good for Google's property.
Yeah.
It is?
Yes. Something that search engines like and users also like is that if you are updating your content. Because if you have something else new to say, you should say it. If you learn something about bot, you should publish it. You should tell your users what you've learned, right?
So what do you think about, like, for instance, a blog or a business site or a company or whatever? We don't have too many people inside as you, because I understood that a lot of people inside creating content.
Okay, let me answer that. We have in total, I think it's 18 people, 18 at the company, and we also have an external team of around 40 specialists on several topics like doctors, nurses, teachers, biochemistries, poets. We have poets writing content.
Yeah, Pensador.com, it's yours, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Cool.
Actually, that's. I think it's our biggest website, and it's a mix of user-generated content, of our own content, and content that is not ours. For example, it has the celebrity quotes.
You curate.
Yes, we curate, we produce, and yes.
That drives me to the second question, actually.
Okay.
If in my market, everybody's creating super well done content about social media management tools and stuff and tricks and blah blah blah, and we don't have that team.
Yes.
So we are looking to create the best of the best and deliver it to our customers. What do you think about it?
You're not adding value. Okay, of course, curating is good. Okay, but
Yeah, we were inspired for the Telejournal TV show every day. We curate news for you.
yes, but they also create.
Yeah, right.
they also create, right?
See?
So, what I really think about what you're doing, you're grabbing pieces of content that are everywhere. Unless you do great content with that, you can say, okay, this blog says this and this and this, and this other one has this vision and blah 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 blah, and the other one has this position and blah blah. I think this is content that adds value. And it adds value for the user. If you just grab the content that other people are producing and say, okay, you can click on this and this and this and this and this, you're not really adding value.
No, that's the link builder. We don't use that anymore.
No, I'm not talking about link building. I'm talking about just grabbing stuff from other people's content and say, okay, you can use this and this and this. But unless you're improving something and bringing value and adding value, I think it's not the best strategy.
And for a small business, I promise this is my last question. Sorry.
You can ask more.
For a small
I'll
business
give
or just a startup,
Yeah.
like, do you think the good strategy will be focus on 2-3 subjects, 2-3 posts or content, and revisit the content every week or revisit the content every 2 weeks, and write something else? Or did you understand my question?
That's something, okay? And something is better than nothing, right? So it's better for you to do that, okay? Just focus on 2 or 3 topics, okay? And reviewing the content every 2 weeks or whatsoever, and producing, for example, an article per week, something like that. This is better than doing nothing. Or this is better than curating other people's content, okay? This is better. But I think it depends a lot on what kind of target you have, what's the market, depends a lot. Okay? But if I can give this advice for startups, do 1 content per week. 1 content per week. It's a good start.
But 1 subject or 1 piece of article or
1 article per week. And if you can, several subjects that can impact your audience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Rui.
Thank you.
In terms of like more specific matters, for instance, you talked about health.
Yeah.
Do you give like total freedom for doctors to write whatever they want, or do you have some kind of like control to avoid the technical terms and to make it more appealing for just readers?
Let's stick to the basics.
Okay.
Who's your target? Doctors?
No.
Or patients?
Patients, yeah.
So, as a doctor, we know that doctors not always do this, but as a doctor you should speak in a way, you should write in a way they understand it.
Yeah.
So, if you can avoid the technical terms, you should. Okay? But you should be accurate also. You can't. Sometimes, for people to understand what we are saying, we use other terms or other concepts that are not so accurate. So the idea is that
you have to have a balance, obviously.
yeah, that's it. Focus on the user who's going to read your content. Okay? I don't know if I have time for more questions, Leia.
Yeah, we have time for another question.
Time is up, but I'm glad to answer more.
You were talking earlier about not to translate content.
Nope.
Yeah. My question is, my target group is actually people that I want to bring into contact with, subjects. What most of the contents are in English and they are my own, but I want to translate them.
Sorry. So I need to correct myself. Okay. If you're translating your own content, that's okay. But there is the right way to do it. Okay, you need to go to that link that I spoke in the beginning, Google Webmaster Guidelines.
Yeah.
There's the information on how to have different versions of the same content. So you can translate if the content is not yours.
No,
If it's yours, there's no problem. Right? But do it in the right way, or you can have problems. Okay.
We have time for another question. Anybody wants to ask anything?
I think people are maybe able to touch.
Well, do you want to share one last thought of yours with us today?
I don't know. I will be here for lunch, so you can speak with me and we can talk a little bit more. But if I could give a final idea, is this one: stick to the basics and focus on the user, and you will do good work in a great company. Okay.
Actually, remember the question. So actually, at Capmatic we have an entire content strategy on employee recognition that we're actually repositioning ourselves sooner or later. And how do you see, like, how would you transition in that? Would you adapt the content we have already done?
Sorry, I don't understand. You're repositioning your market,
Yeah, our marketing strategy is going to change.
Okay.
So our positioning, if you want.
But your target is different, or it's the same?
So the value proposition of the product is changing for the market. So before it was an employee recognition tool for companies, for people to exchange their recognition. Now it's going to become a feedback tool for people to exchange feedback at companies.
So the target is the same?
It's the same target, yeah.
The pains that they have are the same?
They're not the same. They're different.
But
they can be complementary.
You're talking about companies and employees, right?
Yeah.
So I would say, okay, it depends a lot on what kind of content you have, but when we are talking about content marketing, okay, we're not talking about the content of your product, okay? That's different, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If we are talking about content marketing, you need to focus on the target. For whom are you writing? If it is the same target, I don't see if there's much to change. But if you are educating that target on using your tool, of course you have to change it, because the tool is different. Is it?
Yeah, that's the opinion.
Yeah. Thank you, Rui. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for remembering that we're producing content for our clients, for our users, and not for SEO. Thank you for everything. We're going to continue with lunch. It's going to be served to the right part of the building. So once you enter the building, it's on the right part. And we kick off once again at 2.